Why is it said that Tony Stark is a mortal who rivals the gods? When Thanos' figure completely dissipated, Tony Stark's journey reached its final end. Ever since the great battle over New York, Tony had a premonition that the real threat came from deep within the cosmos. On Titan, his armor shattered, nanomaterials depleted, his body battered and bruised, yet he never retreated. But he could only watch helplessly as Thanos put on the Infinity Gauntlet. With a snap, half the universe's life turned to dust. Little Spider trembled in his arms, saying,
I don't want to go. I don't want to go. Sir, please.
At that moment, Tony shouldered all the blame. The pain of defeat had not yet faded. He was trapped in the vastness of space. Fuel exhausted, oxygen running out. He closed his eyes, awaiting death, until Captain Marvel arrived like a beam of light, bringing him back to Earth. Returning to the base, facing the ever-growing list of the vanished, regret nearly consumed him. He once believed Captain America could bear it all, but reality was so cruel. He angrily removed the reactor from his chest, mocking Captain America for telling him to hide. Years later, Tony and Pepper welcomed their own child, thinking life would finally settle into peace. Just as Tony was about to take Morgan home, he saw an old acquaintance he hadn't seen in years. Scott told him he wanted to travel back in time to stop Thanos. Although Tony refused Captain America's invitation that night, looking at the photo of himself with Little Spider, his inner resolve was ignited once again. Late at night, he researched time travel alone. The moment he succeeded, what surged in his heart wasn't just excitement, but also panic. He could save everything but also risk losing all, including his daughter. He confessed his thoughts to Pepper, unexpectedly receiving her full support. He let go of past grievances and donned the armor once more. He had to face this final battle. The Avengers split into 3 teams, traveling through time to collect the Infinity Stones. Just as Tony obtained the Tesseract and was about to leave, an accident occurred. They thought of the 1970 military base. This time, he not only got closer to his goal, but also met his father, Howard, in his youth. He finally understood his father's silent love and resolved a lifelong burden. With all 6 stones gathered, victory was within reach, but then came the devastating news.
Clint, where's Nat?
To obtain the Soul Stone, one must sacrifice a loved one. Natasha chose to stay on Vormir, trading her life for the stone. Her sacrifice made Tony even more determined. This time, they must succeed. Using the power of the 6 stones, they successfully snapped their fingers. The world outside the window came back to life. Hawkeye also received a call from his wife, who had vanished. Everything seemed over, but the crisis was not gone. Nebula, during the time jump, experienced a mental sync with her past self. Thanos learned of their entire plan. He sent a fake Nebula to open a time portal, vowing to destroy everything and reshape the universe. The final battle began again. Tony's attacks were almost ineffective against Thanos. He was thrown back, knocked unconscious. When he woke again, all those he had sworn to protect were now standing by his side. They were not alone, they were the Avengers.
Assemble.
Under multiple rounds of combat, Thanos gradually struggled to resist. He outright ignored his own troops, ordering the warship to open fire. Just then, the tide of the battle turned. As Captain Marvel prepared to travel through time with the stones, Thanos destroyed the time machine and seized the gauntlet once more. Tony looked at Doctor Strange, saw his gesture, and instantly understood this was the only path to victory. He had to make the sacrifice at the critical moment to end Thanos' fate. He seized the moment when Thanos was off guard, transferring the stones to his own armor. Raising his hand, he said softly,
I am Iron Man.
The snap fell. Thanos and his army turned to dust. The universe returned to peace, but Tony could never return to Pepper and Morgan's side. His life was like the reactor in his chest, erupting with an eternal light between destruction and redemption.